Hey guys, welcome to Tokyo and welcome to the BMW Vision Neue Klasse. The concept car is here in Tokyo and I am joined by Arturo Cisneros, the product manager for the user interfaces. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the new interface in the car, about the panoramic display and all of that. And you're going to tell me why is BMW doing this, right?
Exactly, Russia.
Okay,
very happy to be
yeah,
here.
no, thank you for having me. So should we go inside the car
Yeah, let's
and
go
see like a
inside.
live demo? So Arturo, tell me
Yeah.
first, what's new with the user interface in BMW Vision Neue Klasse? I've seen the demo, I've talked about the UI and UX really,
Yeah.
but walk me through some of the things that we might not know actually.
Yeah, it'll be a pleasure. I think the most important thing is to start with the BMW Panoramic Vision. So the BMW Panoramic Vision allows us to completely redesign the interior, giving it more space. But particularly for the customer, it will follow something that we called eyes on the road and hands on the wheel. So it sounds very marketing-like, but
A little
actually-
bit.
Yeah, but there is a strong concept behind it.
Okay.
So the main idea behind that thing is we want that our customers have all the relevant information in front of them at the line of sight over the panoramic vision. So as you can see, everything related to driving, the driving information, driving assistance system information, guiding information is exactly within my cone of vision.
Okay, so let me move that so we can see, okay, got it.
And then everything there on the right side is extended information about your journey, as you can see here. It could be something about media or different information that may be relevant. So, but what is about this eyes on the road, hands on the wheel? So we already talked about we're projecting everything on the line of sight of the customer, but the concept works together with the steering wheel control.
Okay.
So we don't have it here in the Vision car, but we will redesign the steering wheel controls with a new technology. It's going to be like active haptic technology, and very important and very new.
And what do you mean by that? So maybe we dive into the details there.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by active haptic?
Active haptic will help us for the customer to have a very precise interaction.
Okay.
So obviously here you see like touch interfaces, but in the end it's going to be have a better haptic. And whenever the customer presses a button, it will feel like a button.
Okay.
So we want to have this precision in the steering wheel. That's a very important factor. Then the other one, which is going to be very cool, is going to be we're going to use a multi-layer technology for the steering wheel control. That will allow us to show the right function at the right time for the customer. So particularly for driving assistance systems, is going to be very good because it only shows you exactly what you need at the time that you can actually use it. So
Okay.
the customer doesn't have to find out what can I use, what I cannot use.
And where is going to show that? And where are you going to see that? You're going to see it on the controls, on the steering.
You're going to see in the controls and the steering.
So it'll be like
for
a
example,
digital
yeah.
interface integrated
Yeah,
within
so
the controls.
Exactly. So all of a sudden you can drive level 3, and here will appear a level 3 button telling you now I can drive level 3. You press 1, that's it.
Gotcha.
So that should make the whole concept easier. And then of course we have like the whole interaction here, as you already saw in the demonstrations before. It's going to be something like more precise than this because it's already like a vision car. It has been used a lot, but the idea is like pretty much swiping up and down and left and right to configure the panoramic vision. Pretty much the customer can use all relevant functions with the steering wheel plus speech.
Okay.
So the whole concept of eyes on the road and hands on the wheel means I have all relevant information in the line of sight. I can control everything what I need with my hands on the wheel for all the top use cases. And then of course I can have a speech dialogue with the car. Everything will be shown in the panoramic vision and I can also interact with that. So pretty much for the majority of the customers, if they want, they can pretty much use the whole car with the panoramic vision and steering wheel. Right?
Is there an update to the speech capabilities? Are you going to be using new technology compared to what we see today in iDrive 8.5?
Well, we are building up with above like Amazon.
Okay.
So with Amazon, we're gonna carry on working on that engine and carrying on improving it. So we're definitely gonna be working with the speech performance, speech recognition, language, dialect recognition. That's kind of the most important thing, so the whole speech interaction works.
So let me ask you this. So are you currently using natural language processing in iDrive 8.5?
Yes.
Okay, and that's going to be, that's not with Amazon currently, right?
It depends on the car where we have it offered, but we have different like partners that we're working with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But in Neue Klasse will be, the partner will be Amazon.
Yeah, probably.
In the natural language processing will be improved because of that, probably because they also have the Alexa technology and all of that. It's very good at that.
So the engine is exactly what we need to.
Gotcha. Because that's one of the main complaints that I have personally, and a lot of people have, is, you know, the voice recognition, the voice commands are not always very intuitive. You're having a hard time sometimes even figuring out what the car can actually perform for you, and you're always assuming that it acts and works like Siri or Alexa, which it doesn't. And it's not a very smart engine sometimes to actually tell you, hey, by the way, I cannot process this command for you, like closing the windows, but I can give you the option to do this or something like that. Okay, so that's good to know that at least it's improving.
That's a key feature of the new system. Performance, speech recognition is the basis. To afterwards have like a more emotional interaction.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty much like the main concept about it. I also talked about in the workshop, in the deep dive yesterday, about the BMW 3D head-up display. So now you can see here the Panoramic Vision, which is like a 2D projection on the windshield with the highest quality and contrast possible. But we will also offer a 3D projection on the street in front of the car, that it will feel like a head-up display. It is not built in here. We'll probably show it in the coming time, but the idea about that is further strengthening the whole driver orientation. So we talked about hands on the wheel, steering wheel controls, status information, and line of sight, and the 3D head-up display is going to be like a 3D projection on the street about driving, about guiding information, about driving assistance information. So the interplay of the Panoramic Vision with the 3D head-up display and the steering wheel, it's going to create kind of a cone of vision that's going to make it easier for the customer to do everything related to driving.
So I'm trying to understand a little bit how physically will that work, because right now, I mean, this is pretty high up, the entire panoramic display. And what is the head-up display information going to be on top of the panoramic, or
on
it's going
to on the street in front of you?
On the street, so it'll be like an augmented reality kind of thing.
Kind of thing, like 25 to 50 meters in front of you, in front of the car. You're going to see kind of like a virtual image on the street. That in that one only the driver can see, right? As you have your head-up display to that.
Gotcha. And you don't believe there will be an interference with the current height of the panoramic display?
Oh no, they interplay beautifully together. Obviously, we have been driving these things already for some time. And the interplay of those two things feel amazing, because in the end, we're talking about now components, but if you see the whole experience about it, what we want is that the customer has the feeling that the windshield is kind of their new area to interact for everything related to driving. So as said before, you have all the information above there. You don't need to watch anywhere. You don't need to look for things. You can solve everything what you want with eyes on the road and hands on the wheel. That's the idea behind it.
For driver distraction, is it possible, or will it be possible to adjust the height of the panoramic display, and can you turn it off completely if you don't want to?
The height can be adjusted, optimized to the size of the person. So depending on how you're sitting and everything, it can be adapted, so you
lowered or
so
raised.
You always have the perfect, so to say, height for you.
Gotcha. And will you be able to completely turn it off?
There we will offer some turning off, or more, better said, like reducing the amount of information. Because
so like a minimal amount of information, but not fully turning it black, or
I mean, minimal full information means turning some parts black. Because we know people, I mean, for driving you really need like what is in front of me, and if you're like tired, you want a little digital detox, obviously you will be capable of reducing the amount of information.
Understood. All right, Arturo. So what else? It's worth pointing out.
That's very important. I just said like everything what we did to enhance the driver orientation, so everyone who loves driving and beautifully has its hands well positioned on the steering wheel, it's gonna have a lot of fun with it. However, we have different customers, right? We have different markets, and we have different ways of driving. So particularly here in Asian markets, but also like other people in different markets, they don't drive like this with the two hands on the steering wheel. You will drive like a little more comfortable, perhaps like this, with your hand here. And if you are like kind of digital native customer, you come from the consumer electronics, from the smartphone. So the first thing what you do in the car is like you won't go through the steering wheel to start doing things. You will do it in the
on the screen.
So here we already talked about this, the Quick Select, the BMW iDrive Quick Select, as mentioned before. It's just the same system principle as we have now in BMW operating system 9 and BMW operating system 8.5, which the main idea and our goal is that the customers interacts on the first layer of the system. So it's everything about like here selecting which category is important for you, always have it in reach and being able to select the different informations that you want to have. And obviously there you can directly interact with one touch. Our goal with the Quick Select is that the customer needs to maximum have 2 touch interactions to achieve and reach what you need, and that's it. So the Quick Select principle of the operating system 8.5 and 9 will be further developed here in the new central display. What's important to say, the central display, as you can see, is completely newly designed. It's bigger in height, in size, and it has a completely new technology, the matrix backlight technology with local dimming. So that will adjust automatically the brightness, so it's suitable for all kind of driving situations. Again, optimizing that topic. And the last thing that's very important to say about this thing is we see that our customers are using the car a lot as a private space, right? A place of relaxation, a place for entertainment. So as you already heard in the BMW operating system 9, we're offering fascinating now in-car entertainment content, and in this screen we also designed it as such that you have a bigger so to say area to just enjoy movies, for example, or the gaming topics that we have seen in other presentations. So all of that is a very important asset, as well as including all passengers in the experience, right? So the idea here is like we have not given up driving orientation. We just like formally make a 3D cone of vision as explained before, but the surface is also for you. You can interact here. We can both watch a video, a film here. We can have a game here, or we can both relax. Like we're gonna see what kind of relaxation possibilities there are with lighting, with massage, and with some content here that may be suitable for that. And so the idea is to make the interior of the car to, as we call it, the next living space, right? And perhaps the last asset I would like to mention is the co-driver. So we know that the main activities of the co-driver are obviously talking with the driver, but besides that, helping with the journey management, so planning the trip, sending POIs, sharing your own music, or trying to configure whatever you need without interfering with the driver. So for all of those use cases, we will be capable of creating sharing possibilities from the co-driver to the driver, like sharing POI, sharing your music to the whole stage, kind of as we call it. And the speech dialogue will be also directed towards you, so you can have your own area of interacting in the Panoramic Vision with the BMW Intelligent Personal Assistant, and pretty much configure everything what you need without having to go into the central display. Obviously, you can always go in here. You're welcome to use the central display as a co-driver, but there are different ways in which we create like a space for everyone. And yeah, those I think are the main assets of the new BMW iDrive in the Neue Klasse.
Okay, so a couple of follow-up questions, Arturo. I have to ask them. So one, the screen, will this be the shape of the screen that we will see in the future? Is this something that's just a concept thing, or something that you truly believe it makes sense to have it in a BMW?
We truly believe and are convinced of it. We have obviously driven a lot of market research studies on everything that you see here, and developed this car very close to our customers. And this is more an emotional thing.
Yeah, and why the shape? I mean, really, because it's not a square, it's not a rectangle.
No,
it's got this weird shape.
It's purely an emotional thing, as how BMW interprets driving orientation from a design form language in the future. Because as you can see, not only the design of the central display, but everything in the user interface gives you the feeling of like driving you towards this cone of vision. So it only symbolizes the funnel for the driver, that you get this spatial feeling. And the reason why we did that is very simple. I mean, a lot of our customers worldwide always tell, hey, this is a premium luxury car. I would expect more love of design to whatever you're doing there. So for many customers, just having a square on the cockpit feels for them like as you just like put an iPad there, did your homework, and didn't like give more thought to it. And we're BMW. For us, driving orientation is important, but it's reinterpreted. So that's the reason of this form.
So final question, right? So everything looks cool. I mean, it's very futuristic, very digital, clearly looking to the future. But there is this, thought today, and always been around, and especially our customers are vocal today about the fact that the physical buttons and switches are still the easiest way to control things. I mean, there are things like the door knobs that have never changed because they're so intuitive and things are easy to use. And same thing goes for the AC control. It's a lot easier to just, twist, turn, and basically get to the temperature that you want. So why are the physical buttons and switches really moving away?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a vision car, but what I can already tell you is like what you just described. We have exactly the same view on that from the company. So also we analyze very close with our customers worldwide, and also from ergonomic perspective, from quality perspective, and emotional perspective, what are controls that need to stay. So for example, the control of the seat, how do you want to have it? It's definitely something that we're gonna have in hardware because it's the most precise and clean and ergonomical way of doing that. And another example that I always give is the configuration of the volume, right? If you see high fidelity quality systems, how much love and detail to design they give to adjust the volume,
the knob,
the knob, that's extremely emotional experience for a customer, particularly one that pays a lot of money for a surround sound system. So you can definitely expect from us that things like that, we are gonna give them a lot of thought, a lot of work to the materials and details. And the last, so to say, controls that remain the whole design, they will be designed as jewelry pieces. So they are gonna look luxurious, they're gonna make the whole room look with a great design, but they will offer perfect quality, great ergonomics, and a modern design, right? So we will keep some of those.
But not the AC controls.
Let me tell you something about the AC control, because I think it's something that is very important for our customers.
Sure, definitely. That's one of the main topics today. People constantly complain.
We're following it. I'm particularly also in your blog. I do follow it and read it. Okay. So let's try to understand what are we trying to do with the climate control. The philosophy behind it, and that's always sometimes difficult to transport to our customers, is in principle, as a customer, the only thing that you have to do about the temperature is say what temperature you want, and nothing else. Behind the scenes, kind of, the car takes care of, like, with all the different features that you have and everything to create that temperature that you want, right? So the first step is just to say, trust the system and say, I want this temperature. You will have that feeling. Obviously, particularly for climatization, there are different feelings about that and how do I want it. So as you saw it already in the BMW operating system 9 and 8.5, we have kind of two levels of interaction. We have like one menu that it's not here in the Vision car, but if you press here, comes a little menu that we actually thought it's exactly for everyone who just wants to very fast, very smooth decide, I want to have a seat heating, I want to have like a steering wheel heating, very fast, very lean, I don't need to understand anything, one press, that's it. And then there is the second level in which you go inside of the climate system, and then you have everything possible that you can configure there. Also there for 8.5 and 9 we further developed the system. The one that we had before is not bad, it's a good one, but there were still some topics that we could optimize. So that now we make it more graphical, more lean, and more clean. It's in another system, it's not in this in this Vision car. But the whole idea again there is like with one touch to try to solve the whole climate system. But in principle, and I have tested myself like as a customer too, because I drive these cars too, just use the temperature, try to get it, you get the feeling that it works, and if you make changes to that once, the system will learn it. So it will know that, okay, if Horatio likes to have the seat heating at maximum when it's 5 degrees, and if you put it something that it will automatically control it with your preferences. Over time it's gonna get better and better.
Okay. So it's an AI type of system, basically.
It's an intelligent system, and we make the touch interaction easier for the customer. That's how we're trying to approach that topic.
Gotcha. All right, Arturo. Well, thank you for the detailed explanation. I mean, I guess when we see something close a little bit to production, we can have a feeling of how it really works and
Well,
see a
then I
lot
hope
more
that
than
you
this.
drive it and then you sit here and then tell me.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you like
I'm
it?
driving currently the iX M60, and I'm going to end with this because I just recently play around with the iDrive 8.5 and all of that. And absolutely, I would love the knobs and switches, and it's something about that tactile feeling that I still love. But in all fairness, I did realize that over the course of 2-3 hours of driving, I've only adjusted the temperature a couple of times. So really, it's not like I constantly have to go and adjust things like that. Of course, if you travel with family, you might have to do that a lot more often. But if you're by yourself, you don't do it a lot. I think it's more of an emotional thing than anything else. That's what you said. It's like the fact that you took it away and people really wanted that.
understand, yeah.
Same thing goes for the iDrive controller, because BMW has finally perfected the iDrive controller. It is absolutely fabulous right now, and now it's going away in some cars, and people feel like, okay, you're taking away things from me which really work well. And when I drive the X1, usually I'm always reaching for that thing because it's always there. It's nice to touch it, to feel it, to turn it, and all of that. So. That's kind of the feedback that I have on that, but I guess we'll give you a chance to prove us wrong, and once we see the
That's what we're really welcoming all our customers to do, and that's what we also see in our studies that we do close with our customers. It's exactly what you said. At first, the feeling of like, okay, this is new, and I'm a legacy customer of many years, and we really love this kind of customer. Have been with us for so many years. But then they start playing around with the system, understand the system, get into it, and once that they get used to it, the moment that they understand why we did something and they see value at it, then they love it. But they need definitely this transition time. We have a transition time now in the technology, but we're quite certain based on our customer studies that the more they drive it, the more they will love it.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Arturo. I look forward to seeing the next iteration of this.
Yeah, I'll be happy to
Guys,
see you there.
thanks for watching,
Thank you.
and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.